Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Max with BuzzTox, and I'm here with Trev. What's going on, man?
Long time no speak.
I know, man. Jeez. I feel like we just talked about the episode 2 minutes ago. Anyway.
Behind the curtain for you guys.
Anyways, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving our episode 10 predictions. I thought this had to be a standalone as I have a lot to say. I don't really know if you have much to say, Trev, do you?
I filled out all the characters, that's for sure.
Yeah, all the characters. So we're touching on location and every single character in that location. We're going into some deep shit. And then maybe we might go beyond episode 10. Maybe touch on a little snippets of stuff that may be happening in season 7.
Hey Max, I want to talk about religion.
Yep. Anyways, we go over to Winterfell. Let's start off with Winterfell since that was the big story arc of last episode.
Big one.
So I want to just ask you, what do you think is the next big conflict before the White Walkers come? Or is there going to be another conflict in Winterfell before the White Walkers?
I really don't think they can drum up another conflict here.
Because that's where I'm so lost, is because this was such a victory that I feel like what this is going to be is just a wrap-up of some fallout of maybe the war, of, you know, maybe Peter Baelish, of maybe the North and stuff like that, and that'll be wrapped up. But I honestly think the White Walkers is the next threat for Jon and Sansa and all them.
Jon has no army, Sansa has no army. Littlefinger is sort of like, we don't know yet. He obviously came for Sansa and Sansa alone, right? With motivations.
Yeah.
So I like, what conflict could they have other than the Whites?
I have no idea, because
we know Bran's headed there with backup, like with Benjen. Like, that would be a huge thing when Jon sees Benjen, if he does get to.
Oh, Jesus Christ, he's been looking for the bastard for 5 years probably, or depending how long the 5 seasons are.
They will just solidify how threatening the Whites are. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So let's focus in on Jon for a second for the next episode and beyond. So right now, he's become kind of like a ruler like Mance Rayder. He has no label. He's just a bastard, but all these people ended up following him because he possesses, I guess, some kind of leadership quality that people want to back.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel like he's won Winterfell. Do you feel like he has kind of a purpose at all? I feel like he just kind of wants to put his feet up. He did what he set out to do. He now has his home back, and now I think he's just going to want to reap the benefits.
Yeah, but there's no way he's going to be able to sit back and relax. Not even in this episode. There might be like, oh shit. Like, there's not going to be any time.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, with Jon's character, like, I know he always preached the White Walkers are a big deal. The whole reason he made an alliance with the Wildlings is because of the White Walkers. So I'm trying to think, is Jon going to forget about that? Or is he immediately going to be like, okay, now we have Winterfell to defend us from the White Walkers, and now I must do X?
Well, he wasn't too concerned about that because he would have done that at the wall. So now it's like he kind of got distracted from what he really wanted to do from the wall, was just kind of like chill out. But I don't think there's time for him to chill out.
Yeah.
I think he might think that he's done now and he's just getting as far away as he can. Because I don't think he feels like he has a place at Winterfell. That was the whole thing. He just wants to go. Like, he wants to be his own man.
Well, I think right now he's...
And fate won't let him.
Yeah, and I feel like in episode 10, I feel like he's going to be kind of playing the role of currently acting Warden of the North. He's going to be, you know, with Davos and Melisandre. He's going to be settling disputes between them. He's going to be, you know, looking at threats that may pose against them now, such as maybe like the Umbers, or maybe another North house that may be against them, if that's a thing.
Davos doesn't know about Littlefinger's betrayal.
How would he?
Stannis thing?
Oh, yeah, like after Ned sent out his letter to Stannis. I don't know how they would find out about this, but it doesn't seem like Jon knows. But it's like, I don't think Jon will ever deal with Littlefinger. I think you're definitely going to see them talk, but I think Sansa's really going to deal with Littlefinger and what he wants in return.
Right.
And I think, do you think Jon will be pissed off at Sansa for making a deal? Because he obviously wants something that seems maybe like expensive.
I'm trying to think, like, does Jon even know Littlefinger?
No, he does. I don't think he does. No.
No, so I don't think really this will have anything to do with him other than like, who is this guy? Okay, Sansa, I trust you. You obviously had this in plan. I don't know if he's gonna be pissed at her.
Yeah, like he doesn't know
Because he
enough.
survived and they won.
Yeah, like Jon doesn't know enough to say like, oh, don't trust Littlefinger. Like he'll be like, oh, thank you so much for coming in and saving us.
Like
We weren't gonna make.
What do I owe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I don't see him being an issue with him. I think Sansa's gonna have an issue, because you said Warden of the North to Jon, and I think that's what Littlefinger wanted all along.
Yeah, exactly. But what I think is that, you know, I'm trying to think of a way that Jon could kind of be put back on the White Walkers, unless he wants to naturally, but I feel like him knowing his identity combined with Melisandre may make him want to, unless he's just going to... Or see, that makes me think that Jon's just going to become a leader because that's what he naturally is. He's going to become the savior because that's what he naturally is.
Who is he leading, though?
I guess everyone to fight the White Walkers.
But do you think it's a merry band of characters, or do you think it's an army? Because he doesn't have the Night's Watch anymore. There's literally no Stark. There's no Starks anymore, right? I don't think they're gonna pair him up with some northern army unless it's the Mormonts, and we know how little that is, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems weird. I really think it's gonna be a call to arms. Either someone needs his help. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe Benjen and Bran get separated, or Benjen does like a saving throw, like, you guys gotta go there, I'm gonna go here, meet me back here, and then they go get Jon to go back to meet Benjen. Because we need to see, like, Melisandre still needs to survive so she sees the whites. I feel like that has to happen, so she knows, like, holy fuck, like, this is part of the thing I'm seeing in my head.
Yeah, and maybe Benjen can't go through the wall because of the magic enchantments.
Could be. It could. There's so many things, right?
But that being said, I want to talk about, just really quick, the wall coming down, because they're the closest to the wall and they'd be the ones who feel it first. So are you 100% convinced it's going to happen next episode?
Yes.
See,
or like I'm thinking it's coming down, or we're gonna see, at the very least, we will know that it's now
like
penetrable. Like vulnerable.
Yeah, okay, you'll see the vulnerability of it.
I'm hoping for all out, like, Gadoon, what's his name dies. Right. Like the Castle Black is no longer.
See, I can't think of a reason why the wall would come down at this point, because they just took Winterfell, and I feel like you need breather room. But on top of that, the wall either has to come down from a White Walker or from Bran, which I'm leaning towards 100%. It's going to be Bran.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I like actually what you said. Like, he walks through and unbeknownst to him, destroys the wall.
Exactly.
Leaving it just like door wide open.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen.
Not to mean like they're right there waiting for the door to be open, but like, oh shit, now there's no protection.
Well, that is 100% what I think is going to happen. But here's my dilemma. I'm convinced that Bran is at the Weirwood tree where Jon and Sam swore their vows.
Yeah, the white tree.
So, you know what? Thinking about it, I think he's actually pretty close to the wall. So it's possible. But then that being said, you can't have the wall fall down. Like, I was thinking like Bran would get to Winterfell episode 3 of maybe season 7. But you can't have the wall fall down episode 3 season 7. It seems out of place. You know what I mean?
3 episodes in, that's almost halfway through next season, is it not?
Yeah.
With the episode shortage?
Yeah. Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard, man.
We don't even know where they are, right?
Like, I feel like
are
the
they
wall...
hot on the tails of them?
I don't know. Like, I feel like the falling of the wall belongs at the end, like a finale. And you can't wait till next season for a finale for the wall to come down. Even though that would make sense. But Bran can't wait at the Weirwood tree for that long. Actually, you know what? He can. You know what? He can. What if he stays at the Weirwood tree and he's, drumming up all of these visions that the Raven gave him, and he stays there until the White Walkers... I don't know, because then until they
Bran's
come...
further on down on my list, but I can tell you what I was thinking.
Okay, I feel like we should leave it. I feel like we're getting too much into it. I really want to delve deep into Jon here.
Okay.
But, just overall, I just wanted to touch on, if the wall comes down, it seems like it's too early for me. That's why. It seems way too early, because then you have 14 episodes of the wall down.
But think of everything as a whole. What is left up there?
I know that's the thing. Nothing.
what is left even in the Riverlands other than we're probably going to see Felch. Felch. We're going to see, what's his name, die. We're going to see Walder Frey die. Then you move down the map, you got King's Landing, and we know that's going to be a King's Landing heavy episode here. I think if what I say is not true and she doesn't blow the whole city up, the city's going to be in mass ruins anyways. Civil war, because something's going to happen assassination-wise. Either the king's going to die, the Sparrow's going to die, or both of them are going to die, and it's going to be solely put on Cersei Lannister.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, what other conflict can you have? I don't know where Dorne fits into all this. This is what's so crazy.
It seems like all the conflict is kind of shedding to make room for the White Walkers, which makes me feel like I feel so weird if the wall were to come down, because it would introduce kind of like this big WTF moment. But at the end of this other WTF moment, like I feel like they need a moment in Winterfell to lick their wounds. But at the same time, I guess they don't. But anyway,
Winterfell's pretty far away, in a sense, and I'm leaning more towards what you said, where the wall falls and they're not just right there, right? We don't know what the motivation of the Night King is. He might be going after all the weirwood trees for a reason. Might be destroying them, and it might take him a long time to do so. But I looked up that it's called the white tree, the one that's just inside the wall. It's actually closer to the wall than Craster's Keep. So I was thinking that Bran might even stop in there. We might see a couple visions here and there, and then get some to keep moving.
Yeah, see, that's my one dilemma. Either he stays there until the White Walkers come, but that's what made me stop, is that the wall has to be down without the White Walkers there, because you need it open for the Winds of Winter to come through without the White Walkers, because you can't have the White Walkers coming in for like 10 episodes, you know what I mean?
I really think the White Walkers are pretty OCD about conquering, though, because they've danced all around the north. Like I said, they went for the Frost Fangs, they went to the other side, which is Hardhome. They went kind of up and down, and they're going all the way around. So I think there's something that they're doing.
Yeah, it's like extermination.
Well, like, yeah, cool, we got this undead army, but I think they want to, like, every time we see them, there's 4. And she killed 1, right? Mm-hmm. So it's almost like he needs to replenish his stock of White Walkers, like the actual White Walkers.
Yeah. Well, this is what
which are like generals, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
all of Craster's kids.
Maybe it's tough to try and make them, right?
But this is what leads me to my like main dilemma: is what kind of season or series finale are we in for? Are the White Walkers going to decimate all the way down to like the middle of Westeros, or does the battle take place at the wall, like the final fight that finishes the whole war for the Dawn is at the wall?
No, I think it's like King's Landing.
See,
like the Iron Throne has something to do with it.
See, that could back it up though, because there's snow in the vision in King's Landing. So people say that it's ash. I think it's 100% snow. But that doesn't mean it's going to snow in King's Landing. It could be like symbolism for snow being on the throne. But, what makes me think, I always kept thinking that the final fight is going to be at the wall. I could be wrong, but what backs it up in my mind is, first of all, Melisandre always preaches about this fight at the wall or whatever. But I think,
if I had to say where the final fight would be, I'm thinking it's going to be at Winterfell.
You know what, dude? You literally just took what I was about to say.
Because the Godswood is protected by a castle.
You literally
with Bran inside, matrixing it up.
Dude, you nailed it. So I think, you see what made me think it's going to be at the walls, because I feel like there's all this foreshadowing, like Daenerys comes out, walks out from the wall, and she sees her family. I personally feel like that means she's going to die there. She's going to die, and it's symbolism for her dying and going to go see her family again, kind of thing. But then I totally agree.
Like winter is her death.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That's the end of her life. Meaning, like that's the
winds.
wall.
The winds of winter extinguish the fire, pretty much. And I really like the idea of the final battle being in Winterfell, because they're trying to get to Bran, and it's the fight to protect Bran, because Bran is in control of one of the dragons, and it's like. It's this really important thing, and it means so much, because it's probably it will be like the only weirwood tree left in Westeros.
Yeah.
And I think, the bittersweet ending, I'm happy you said Winterfell because I don't think Winterfell's making it out of this.
But I think like the White Walker's going everywhere, but everyone's gonna have to castle up during the winter. And like they've said, the winter's coming because it's a thing that happens in this universe. But I think it's stressed more because the White Walkers are coming.
See, that's an ongoing debate. Like we're gonna have to debate this when episode 10 is done. But it's one of those things where I don't think like I can't like I think it would be awesome if it could be like I don't watch The Walking Dead, but I picture it like, you know, every town you're not safe. You're hiding from White Walkers. It's totally overrun by White Walkers.
100%, and they gotta like travel.
But I feel like that's not what's gonna happen. I feel like it's gonna be this rush of they're all at the wall, and that's where the fight ends, or at Winterfell. Like I feel like we won't get to the point where it's total utter domination or where White Walkers take over up to King's Landing. I don't think it'll get that far.
Why do we even care about King's Landing? So then, in that logic, if that's true, then I think Cersei could then blow up King's Landing.
Exactly. It's like removing it from the story.
And then Daenerys shows up and is like, "There's nothing left."
Yeah, that's
and like true. Surveys the land and be like, "Oh my God, there's a White Walker war going on up in the north." Like I don't know what else there is, right?
But let's go to Sansa and Littlefinger after talking about the destruction of Westeros. Sansa's storyline for episode 10 is definitely centered around Littlefinger. So he keeps like I thought like the debt is owed to Littlefinger. And it's clear in the featurette that he's like, you know what I want. So that makes me think like, what the hell does he want? Do you know what he wants? Because I don't really think I know what he wants. I have a couple of ideas. Yeah, exactly.
I think now it's like she's like showed herself as pretty much Catelyn.
I know, and the way I said it is he says that you know what I want, which means that in the past seasons we've seen what he wants, and Sansa's supposed to know what he wants. So, you know, he's proven that he does like Sansa in a sense. He does kiss her in some weird, creepy way. So maybe he wants her. Maybe he wants Sansa to marry Robin, which was actually an idea in season 4 or 5, I believe. No, season 4.
No, he wants her now.
Oh, maybe. But then he wants some... Or maybe he wants some of the North, which could play into Sansa's
Well, that's
hand.
what he wants.
Like, really. He has his hand on the veil.
But he wouldn't say that to Sansa. He would say... I want you, which I think he does too, and I think that's his weakness, is her.
I don't know though, because it does make sense from a political standpoint, because he has Robin in the Vale, and he's pretty much his father-in-law, and then if he marries Sansa, he'll have the North. If Sansa becomes a Wardeness of the North, which is what it's looking like, because Jon is a Snow, and I feel like Peter Baelish will be the advocate against Jon being the Warden of the North, and I think Jon will agree with him.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the whole political stuff. It's hard for me to sort of predict because, like, what does it matter when these whites show up?
I don't know.
What would Peter Baelish want to be when the zombies show up?
Well, it's chaos. You know what I mean? It's chaos, man. So
like he knows how to survive in the world of humans, but he's not one to like battle White Walkers.
Yeah, but I think
there's no political gains in that.
Yeah, but I think based on Peter Baelish's political maneuvering will dictate his survival for the Fight of the Dawn. Depends on where he is and how he plays his cards, and if he climbs up high enough, he'll be able to survive.
But like I mentioned before, he's still owed big time for killing Ned.
And to be honest, we don't even know if Peter Baelish even knows about the White Walkers. That's the thing. Is he's such a political character?
Anyways.
He probably doesn't even know about them. And that just makes me think, like, Sansa promised him in the letter, I'm pretty sure that, you know, she will reward him. But is she in a place to deny him? Will she say, like, you put me through hell, so that's what you get. Like, thank you. But, you know, you're getting nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But I wonder now, because he helped them in the north, that someone will send a letter saying, like, oh, you're going to trust Littlefinger? He backstabbed and your dad.
See, I feel like that's a cop-out. I feel like you can't just have a letter show up out of nowhere. So there has to be some kind of character that's there that does know that, or it's just not going to come out of the box.
Who would it be, though?
I can't think of anyone that would be there.
Like, Jaime's the only one I could think of that would show up and say something like that.
Like, Janos Slynt knew, and he was at the wall. Jon killed him. He was the one who betrayed his dad. Janos didn't say anything. To be honest, dude, there's nobody. Like, I think it's dead in the water.
Like he's. I don't think he's scot-free though from that.
I think he's covered, man.
I don't know, man.
But let's go over to Davos. So, it's pretty short and sweet. So, it's obvious that he's going to confront Melisandre. We see it in the tease. And this is one of the things that Jon has to deal with. But will he go so far as to kill her again? Or try to, sorry.
I don't know. But could you see one of these characters dying?
Not now.
Even, like,
I thought Davos would die, to be honest. But he's alive. I'm happy he's alive. But he's not.
He's proved his worth. But if any one of these two die, it's him.
But he's not dying until later, And Melisandre, I think she sees. Oh, dude, totally. When Stannis wanted to have him executed, and she said that Davos has a part to play. It's assumed that his part to play was to get all of these men to rally behind Stannis.
Yeah.
When he went to Bravos to get money. But it might be, it's obviously going to be for more. It's going to be for the fight against the White Walkers. And I think, he's going to make it too. I think we're going to see a lot of characters live until the end.
I think you're being hopeful.
I want characters to die, though. That's why I hope this next episode's a bloodbath. But, I think everyone in the North is safe. We have, Melisandre now, where Jon's going to try and appease them, I guess. But
I think he's going to send her away.
I don't think... there's no way, dude.
What does she... he doesn't know anything that she does that he needs.
Where would he send her away?
I don't know. Maybe she's got to go see... what's going on with the Brotherhood?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, is that they're coming north. Melisandre's going to stay there, and they're going to be reunited. I think it's going to be the reunition between the Brotherhood and Melisandre. Then you'll have 3 people who support the Red God. You'll have Beric Dondarrion, who's been revived 7 times. And then you have Thoros of Myr. So you have 2 red priests there. So I think that'll be interesting. And then Minerva. Maybe Minerva comes over with Dany, and you have 3 red priests.
Yeah.
So
all speaking the word of the Lord of Light.
What's that?
I just it's so difficult because if Bran shows up, there's so much revelations, right?
Yeah.
He could prove to anybody. All this shit is real. This is how it works. What do you need me to show you to prove anything? Right? So do we see her? Do you think Bran gets to see Jon? Or do you think Jon's gonna have to leave Winterfell before Bran shows his face up?
I think they're gonna see. I think it's gonna be weird. I think we're actually gonna get what we wanted. I think we're gonna get a full Stark reuniting, which I haven't been for at all. But I like the idea, of course, because as a fan. But I think we're gonna...
Arya in the castle, Bran in the castle, Sansa in the castle with Jon there chilling.
Nah, it sounds too good. I don't know.
I know it's too much.
Sounds too good to be true. I don't know. We'll see. But Melisandre.
But it could be during the winter days, though.
Yeah, who the fuck knows, man? I have no idea. But Melisandre seems I feel like she's staying there. And I feel like she's gonna feel bad for burning Shireen, but it's what happened, and I think that's just gonna be kind of brushed over. You have anything else to say about Melisandre?
I don't know.
No? All right. Well, Tormund, he's just by Jon's side. That's just who he is.
Yeah. He's the Ronald Weasley.
He's the fun, cool guy next to Jon all the time.
He's the ginger adventurer.
And I love Tormund, but I'm so sad because I know he's gonna end up dying.
Oh yeah, self-sacrifice for Jon.
It's terrible. Self-sacrifice.
How awesome was he when he was just slicked red hair, slicked with blood on his beard and
slicked red hair and red face?
He looked like a savage hobo. It was awesome. And his eyes are so intense.
I know.
He has the whitest eye whites of any person ever.
Really, eh? You're really staring at those eyes, eh?
You can't help, man.
Those
Next time you see him on stage, it's like someone's pulling his hair at the back. He's just looking down his nose at everybody.
That's so funny.
But hopefully we get to see a little bit more of a scene with him and Brienne.
Oh, I fucking love Tormund, man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great. But let's go to Mareen. So this is going to be pretty crazy. So let's start off with Tyrion. So we've seen him have relationship with the dragons. We see that his idea now saved Mareen.
Yeah,
so
he's just gangster as fuck now.
So what do you think is next for him and Daenerys? What's the next chapter? What's gonna happen in
She knows he's too valuable. He's not leaving her side. So wherever she goes, he goes.
Yeah, because I think she realizes that the reason Mareen is still standing, he delayed the inevitable by doing his wheeling and dealing. and now he's actually giving good advice, and now she has all these ships that she wouldn't have had if not for Tyrion.
Yep.
So I think that's really important. And then I think, this is what clashes to me. We're talking about the falling of the wall, but it's a toss-up between either the wall falls and we get a season 5 ending, which is a cliffhanger, a very upsetting cliffhanger, or we get the hopeful season 4 finish, where Arya is on a boat to Bravos, and then we get Daenerys on a boat with Tyrion to Westeros.
Yeah.
So it's between those two. Do we get a hopeful season finale, or like a hopeful last shot of the episode, or do we get a terrible holy shit part of the episode or end of the episode?
I think if I had to wager a guess, it's hopeful all around except for the wall. Everyone's like, oh, it's looking up. And then Bran's like, uh-oh.
That would make sense.
And the whole shit comes down behind him, and everyone's moving in on Westeros.
That would make sense. But it's so... them leaving for Westeros, it's so iconic that I feel like it has to be the last scene, even though it probably won't be, because if the wall comes down, that's the last shot.
I pictured, Sam... reading what they're capable of, oh my god, there's a scene in
Nice
Lord of
approach.
the Rings where Gandalf takes off to find out what the ring is, and he's reading all these old documents in this library at candlelight, and at the same time you see Gollum scene where he's screaming and being tortured and all this stuff.
Right.
So I feel that's gonna be almost the same scene, Sam is figuring it all out, and he just kind of looks up to nobody. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, his realization.
Yeah, and then it cuts to, Jon getting dragged on the sleigh that he's on, and they think they're, so ahead of the game, and you just hear, everything come down.
Yeah. Well, I think, you talk about Sam, it brings Daenerys closer to him, because I think at the end of this episode, I think you're going to see Daenerys and Tyrion setting sail for Westeros.
Yeah. For a full war campaign.
Yeah, but before that, I want to talk about the interactions that we think we're going to see. So first of all, we see Tyrion and Daenerys talking in the preview. I think they're going to be talking about alliances. I think Tyrion obviously knows a lot about Westeros, and I think he's going to suggest the Martells and the Tyrells.
Yeah. He
mentioned it in season 5 that the Tyrells, they may support you, they may not support you. They're on the fence. And right now they're kind of swamped in King's Landing. And then you have the Martells, which they obviously have history. They still love Rhaegar Targaryen, even though of his history of cheating on their own. But they still love him, and there's a natural form of allies that can be formed there. So I think they're going to be talking about allies. And I think Daenerys, when she's hanging out with Tyrion, I think maybe when they're docking, maybe we're going to see... Do you think we're going to see dragons interaction at all?
With what? Dragons interacting with what?
With Daenerys, with maybe Tyrion. Maybe Daenerys sees Tyrion's interaction. I keep talking about this fucking interaction between Tyrion and the dragons, but I feel
I really think that's dead on the cross. Pardon the saying, because I think it was only to show in her absence that he can sort of handle a dragon.
But that's so significant. They have to pay that off.
I don't know, though.
Maybe Kenerva. I think we'll see maybe an introduction of Kenerva again. Daenerys meets Kenerva. And maybe, we see... I don't know, Tyrion interacting with the dragon. Daenerys is holy shit. Wow.
There's so much to wrap up here, though. So it's, you see them kind of talking, heart-to-heart, them in the next preview. Almost like what they had before they went to war.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there could be talk of alliances, or just talk hey, if we're doing this, you're going to need to know this. And you're going to need to know this, and here's where we're going to go, and all that stuff. There's so much that it's hard to kind of sort out in my mind.
Yeah, and then when they...
Because you got to think, this is totally a King's Landing episode. That whole story has not had enough attention to in the last few episodes, and it's that needs to be wrapped up, and I feel they can't wrap that up pretty quick.
Well, think about the wrap-up of Mareen in episode 9. 15 minutes, and we got a kick-ass scene and a great wrap-up. I think King's Landing is going to be a boom, holy shit, what the fuck, 20 minutes of catching up, King's Landing's done. And then we have this, 60 or 50 minutes of other people.
No, because I think you're going to have a quick one in the north, quick one with them again. Sort of like it's just like a compass check.
Big one with Bran.
Where they're going to be pointing. Whether they get on the ships, you see them getting on the ships. I like cool. But King's Landing is going to be the major chunk because it's not going to be a war scene. It's going to be a political back and forth talking scene, right?
And speaking of Daenerys getting on her ship, so we've been vocal before that she's probably going to leave behind Grey Worm and Missandei. I feel like this whole season Tyrion's been unknowingly really grooming them to rule.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And in the I think 2 episodes ago when Tyrion was trying to get them to drink, it just kind of showed that they have potential to kind of take that ruler status, kind of like bury the slave and kind of grow to become more of a ruler, you know?
100%. I think even just this episode was them sort of proving themselves as that.
Yeah.
I know they weren't doing it, but they were there. Grey Worm was getting his hands dirty.
Yeah, and Grey Worm's like plans on how to do with the military and not storm the beachhead and hold Mareen and his negotiations with them. I think he's proven that he can be the Lord of Mareen, if that's the proper term.
Both those two stay in place. There's no way they're going with Dany.
Yeah, but then flip of the coin.
I think they're gonna be expecting to go with Dany, and then she's gonna go, no, you guys have proved yourselves as good leaders. Yeah. You're my, not king and queen, but you're my like wards or whatever you call them.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, I obey my queen, and then he'll just stay. And then Daario, to me, my initial thought with Daario was he for some reason would stay back. Because for some reason, I don't know why I was thinking that. Maybe because I was in the preview, you see Daenerys put her hand on his face. But I'm convinced that he's coming to Westeros. Do you think he's coming, or do you think he's staying?
Who, Daario?
Yeah.
He's following for sure.
Yeah, I think he's needed there. You know, I think he's gonna take.
He's like the ground army leader.
Exactly. He's taking Grey Worm's place, maybe holding on the Unsullied, and also we've seen him kind of leading the Dothraki fighting the Harpies in episode 9. And we've also seen him interact with Grey Worm and the Unsullied when they were looking for the Harpies, and Daario said that obviously they need to know fear.
But he was sort of like a red herring. We didn't know if we could trust him during the Harpy thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of the fans definitely didn't trust him, but now he's definitely trusted. He's a good character.
Yeah. He's 100%. I don't think you're going to see that much of him in this. It's just like, yep, he's the Dothraki leader, ground cavalry leader.
Yeah. And now we need to send our thanks to Theon Greyjoy and Yara Greyjoy for... I
really don't think you'll see them at all.
For providing their ships. I think you'll definitely see them.
For what? What purpose would they serve in this last episode?
So first of all, Yara is the commander of the majority of her fleet, so she's gonna be in charge of moving and shaking, baby, getting everyone on there, commanding all the shits. But she's obviously going wherever Daenerys is going. But I have this crazy thought with Theon, and I mentioned it before.
That he's gonna fall or get eaten by a dragon? That'd be pretty dope.
No, he literally has no purpose, so he can't be a commander of any fleet because he has no experience. He was raised in Winterfell. There's literally nothing he can offer. So I think what he can offer is his relationships, and I think when Daenerys sails, Theon's going to go in the opposite direction, and I think he's going to go north and try and negotiate at Winterfell. To try and get allies in the north, as Daenerys is going to go to Dorne, and that's where Dorne comes in. I think she's definitely going to Dorne, and I think that's where you'll see Arya Sand again.
I don't know. Dorne was like I wish they would have touched on it one more time so we knew what was going on there.
Because, dude, if you look at Essos, it's actually crazy. Mareen, okay, they're on Slaver's Bay, okay? And Slaver's Bay goes through the Gulf of Grief. I'm really nerding out here, guys. And then
that's right across the water.
Yeah, but literally, if they sailed across the water east, a little northeast, they would hit Dorne.
Yeah.
So they have to they have to hit Dorne. Dorne is the closest piece of land in Westeros that they could hit if they're going to set sail from Mareen. So I think that's the shot. They're going to Dorne, and I think Varys is there to negotiate, and I think that's where they're going. And then Daenerys is going to secure Winterfell, and this is a really stupid idea, but I'm going to start out there. Theon's going to go to Winterfell, and he's not going to want to, but he's going to go to Winterfell, and with the relationship that he built with Sansa, which is part of the reason why they might have built that relationship, is now he's going to go try and go there and communicate with Jon and Sansa and try and bring a form of, allies together kind of thing.
I like the Varys is in Dorne.
Varys.
I like that idea. But, I can't stand that lady.
I think it makes sense. And, dude, look what she's set up to be. Her, Dany, and Daenerys and Yara hit it off. Why? Because they're women living in a man's world who want to be leaders. Who the hell is Arya Stark? A badass woman who wants to rule, who's living in a man's world. Granted, it's a little less so in Dorne, but she's still that kind of kick-ass chick, and they do kind of fit hand in hand, and I think Daenerys will kind of respect her.
But she's out for blood.
So is Daenerys.
But still, different motivations.
Daenerys, I don't think so.
I think she might be already in King's Landing in this episode.
Who might be?
The Dorne chicks.
No way.
I think they really want them dead.
I don't think so. I thought that they would be there to kill Tommen, but they haven't paid off that storyline until lastly on episode 1, so I don't think we're going to see them at all.
You don't think they're going to be the death of Tommen? That'd be pretty crazy.
No, I would be pissed. To me, it doesn't make sense. Can you imagine, emotionally, can you imagine just, these two chicks coming out being like, oh, we finally came out from that boat where we killed our cousin Trystane 9 episodes ago, but now we came here to kill you, Tommen. And then they kill Tommen and they take off. First of all, no one cares about Dorne. Second of all, you can't have Tommen die and Cersei watch it for this, it won't be emotional enough. I feel like if Tommen has to die, it has to be from Cersei's mistake. Which kind of goes into King's Landing. So tell me what do you think is going to happen in King's Landing? Because this episode is probably going to be majority King's Landing episode. I'm thinking at most 30 minutes dedicated to it. Probably 20.
Yeah, she's blowing the shit up, man.
But
I just don't know how much collateral damage.
But in what sense, though? How? Because this is the
I think that throne room's getting blown up. We saw that.
This is the one topic I left blank. I don't know what to say about this. There's so much that could happen in so many different scenarios that I'm not comfortable really sticking to a particular theory.
I think she's going to fucking blow up the sept, and it's going to fall and smash that hole in the throne room.
Right, because we know that Margaery's getting ready for the atonement, not the hearing, or what's it called? The trial of Cersei and Loras, and she's watching with the king, and you see Tommen getting ready, and everyone's getting ready to go to this event, and then we see the 7 septons around the 7-pointed star, and then we see Loras kind of begging for forgiveness. So we both said that Loras is fucked.
No, he's dead.
Yeah, so I'm thinking Daenerys blows up just the Sept of Baelor, hoping to kill some people, but I'm thinking, she would have had to know that Tommen is out there, right?
No.
No.
That's why. I think, that's the one last thing. She might kill the Sparrow, but he had, he had an ace in the hole the whole time.
No, but I'm saying that Tommen probably might be in there, but I'm saying that Cersei would have to know that Tommen wouldn't be there, or shouldn't have been there. But that being said, remember in season 2 when they were having Blackwater and Cersei, they were on the throne and she was sitting with Tommen? That could be foreshadowing something, eh?
Could be.
Where she's saying my sweet line, she's telling him a story about the cubs, and she's ready to poison herself and Tommen to save him from the enemy.
Yeah.
And just before she's about to poison her and him, the shit goes down. So maybe she's thinking of, I'm going to take out all the sparrows, and I'm going to save my son by killing him and killing me and whatever.
I don't know. It's such a unless she believes this prophecy so hard that she wants to just go softly into the night.
See, but
she seems like she's out for blood.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't agree with what I said, but that's an idea. I think Cersei's surviving till next season. She's not dying.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which makes me think, why, having such a big WTF moment, if Tommen dies, I can't imagine Cersei carrying on into the next season and then carrying off that. I don't know how they would carry off that story arc. You know what I mean? Would Jaime?
What if she kills Tommen by accident and Jaime chokes her out for it?
But Jaime wouldn't be there. Jaime's with the Freys.
No, he's on his way back.
But we see him with the Freys.
Yeah, I know. I think that'll be really early on in the episode.
You can't have someone travel in one episode.
That was what the whole thing was. He's like, I gotta get back to Cersei. I gotta take this thing. Let's cheers. Let me get out of here. That was he told us that's what he's trying to do. So I feel like he's going to, I don't know if this is going to happen next episode, but he's going to get back and come home to oh my God, Cersei, what have you done?
Right.
Because where else are they gonna go?
I don't know.
It's gonna be a complete civil war.
Because it's like Cersei's gonna want, like, in the books, Varys killed Kevan Lannister, Pycell, those kind of people. And I think Cersei's gonna take that role of killing, with the Mountain maybe, Kevan, Pycell, the people who support the Sparrows and Tommen. And she's gonna try and maybe single out the Sparrow supporters. But then, like, I don't even know what Margaery's role could be. Like, I feel like she has to do something other than just be there for the event.
No, I think Margaery's just trying to escape with her life, to be honest with you. Because she knows shit's gonna go to fucking hit the fan.
See, it's like, with this story mainly, I got nothing. Because every time I come up with some kind of prediction, it crumbles because I think of what would happen next. To me, this giant explosion happening, I don't know how you start episode 1 with that much collateral.
Jamie coming back to it.
I don't know.
Like, what the hell? The whole army has to come in because there's like riots in the street. Cersei's like just distraught in her Red Keep, the one place that didn't really get destroyed. He's able to enter, talk about it, and say like, "What the fuck have you done?"
Oh man, but like, I would love it if it just turned into this giant extermination of everybody.
I think it's going to be. But I think you're right with that.
But I don't think it is.
Kids killing.
That's what I want, but I don't think it's going to be everybody. Like, I naturally, I think the Septa is going to blow up, and the wildfire is just going to be more than she can handle. It's going to burn the whole city down.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening, though. I can't picture it happening because I don't know how you carry on from that. Like, I can't picture Cersei standing in the middle of a pile of ash and her son surviving or dying. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what she would do if she killed her son for the next episode. Like, she'd probably just kill herself. Like, I don't know.
Maybe she doesn't blow him up. Maybe he gets killed in the ensuing chaos. Do you get what I mean?
Maybe,
like,
but then what does she do?
If it doesn't blow up, it's so hinted that it is gonna blow up. But if it doesn't blow up, this city itself is gonna be in complete anarchy.
Or maybe it's like
Marjorie's gonna pull some shit, desperate. Loras is dying, and it's just gonna be messed up. That's why maybe the Sand Snakes do show up.
And as much as I would love, I don't think the Sand Snakes are going to show up, but as much as I would love Jaime or Tyrion to kill Cersei, fulfilling the Valonqar prophecy, right? What if it's Tommen? He's a little brother. And what if he's pissed because his mom destroyed everything?
I just don't think he's a strong enough character to do that, to be honest.
I'm just trying to bring ideas to the table.
No, I know.
Honestly, for this, I don't. This is the one thing I don't have answers for.
I'm really interested. This is what I'm most anxious to see. This is the whole thing with this.
I literally don't know. But I think the wildfire explosion that we see in Bran's visions, I'm thinking that's season 6 because from a production standpoint, I don't see them shooting a scene in episode. Fuck, I don't know, man. I don't see them shooting a scene for season 7 that would be in season 6. However, it
just makes perfect sense in my head because Jaime is gonna be so pissed at her that she blew up the city, which he literally stabbed his own king over.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna probably kill so many innocents. And then he's gonna realize, like, oh my God, it was all you. Like, you did all this shit and you made me run everywhere. I lost my hand. You killed all our kids. You do not stop.
Yeah, and I want to play devil's advocate for myself. In his visions, we have
also, he can't choke her, though.
Yeah, true. And we have seen, we've seen a dragon fly over Westeros, which hasn't happened yet, so there you go. But
that could have been from the past.
It could have been.
I was thinking about that, too.
But I don't think so. But anyway, so I just want to touch on that Jaime thing you're talking about. But I always thought of Jaime kind of coming in and saving King's Landing. Not coming in when it's in rubble, but it's like we already see it all burnt to the ground. So it's like, I honestly have no idea. I don't know. Do you have anything to add? Because I'm lost.
I don't know. I don't know. You think Loras is dying on those stairs? Like, that's how fast I think Loras is gonna die.
Yeah, just like boom, and then everyone's taken out. But I don't know how. Like, to me, it doesn't add up. If you kill everybody, I don't see how you go on from that.
Like, who is important out of those people?
Everyone in the fucking building. I don't know. Like, kill all the sparrows, and then you have
Sparrow's gone. He's the bad guy in this.
Like, I feel like,
even though he's not that bad if you really think, because he's just torturing the bad people.
I feel like Margaery has more to do, but you thought she was gonna die, and Loras is obviously.
I think she's making it out. I have a real feeling she's gonna be the one making it out of all this.
That's what I said at the start. And then, Kevin's going to die, Pycell's going to die, Qyburn could die.
I picture with those three you just mentioned is a full-on Breaking Bad moment.
Dude,
like
I was just going to say that. Where Varys sends his birds, and then he's sitting there in Dorne, like, chilling out, while the little kids are killing all the people.
Yeah.
That is funny, dude. We were thinking about the exact same thing.
Like, the mountain kills Kevin, Pycell's getting stabbed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happens to Qyburn.
Dude, that was crazy. That's so funny. I'm not trying to coattail off. I don't understand. How come that idea just popped into my head? Oh my god.
Because
wow.
she's trying, like, Tommen said it in the last one, like, that he talked, was like, the sept and the crown are two things, and if one should fall, the other one should fall, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, buddy, you just, like, sealed your fate in words.
That's crazy. So, with all this, we're expecting Jaime Lannister to come in and save the day. But
I don't think so.
Okay, well, anyways,
Jaime's cursed.
Well, you said that you said that he might end up going back to King's Landing, which I don't think.
Oh, he is, but he's not gonna save the day.
I don't think he'll make it, man. He's in the twins. We see him in the featurette. So let's talk about the twins. We have Walder Frey, we have all of his kids, and then we have Bronn and Jaime Lannister, and they're there for supper.
Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't make sense how Jaime makes it from the twins to King's Landing in one.
I think he can't stand Walder, and he's gonna disrespect him and say, I did your thing, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think...
Because even, like, it's his character. He will do anything for Cersei. He even said it in the last one, pretty much. But he like, even Cersei said, like, even when our kids were being born, he would, like, cut down anybody who told him that you couldn't be in the same room. He will just cross rivers and climb mountains to get back. So I picture him going, you're welcome, a little bit of a toast. He leaves, they get hammered, and we'll see a scene. Maybe, we're hoping Arya shows up and kills that guy.
Yeah, so
and the brothers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think he's out of there.
Yeah.
Bronn's going with him.
I agree. I don't think he'll love the Walder Frey, and I think he'll definitely want to get out of there.
Yeah, but he'll say something smug and be like, why don't you fight your own battle type of thing.
I just don't see him, like, teleporting to King's Landing, but with Arya, I definitely see her stirring up some stirring up some trouble in the twins. I think
it's got to be. It's a straight shot across the water.
Literally, it is, and it goes hand in hand with what she's done before. When the Hound got killed, they were near the Riverlands, kind of by the Vale, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I believe she got on a dock that was pretty much next to the Riverlands and is on that coast, and she took off there, and she can't take a boat back to, like, Winterfell because the water's like water and shit. I don't know. So she's probably gonna go.
She could, but she's probably just she's just trying to cross.
Yeah, she's probably just gonna go straight, get to the same dock, and be like, okay, well, I have to journey to Winterfell, but I'm by the twins. Might as well.
Yeah.
Get someone off my list.
Your list is full back in effect.
Yeah, so I think she's gonna, like, how do you think that would be, though? Do you think it's a poisoning? Do you think it's, like, a brutal assassination? Like, I feel like Arya won't show herself.
No, I think she'll get to him, like, at night.
I feel like it'll be one of those things where you start to see people, like, dying, all the Freys, or maybe just Walder Frey. I don't know if she's gonna target everyone or just Walder Frey.
Yeah, like, in my mind, actually, you said poison. I picture Jaime saying, fuck off, Walder, and leaving, and then you see, ha ha ha. We have a party to do here, and they're all toasting and like another Breaking Bad moment.
And then Jaime,
where Gus poisons all them, like they're all having a good time.
It's like Jaime's framed like Tyrion was for poisoning the Freys, but it was actually Arya.
Yeah, but I don't even think that needs to happen because it's just that's the end of the Freys. Like the Freys were so small, anyways. No, it doesn't even really matter. He's just like, okay, we're done here. See ya. And then they're like, you fucking prick. And then they go back to drinking merrily. And it's a shit show, and she's got like the worst poison ever in all the drinks.
I think it's gonna be we're not gonna know.
Like he even refuses a drink.
Yeah.
And it's like, I gotta get out of here.
I think it's gonna be we don't know what the hell's happening until they're all dead or they're dying, and then we finally see Arya. It'll be like a surprise moment. But like with Arya, like I don't see her killing. I was thinking about it, I'm like, could Bronn die from that? No, I think Arya is very targeted. She doesn't kill people she doesn't know.
No, that whole stage table is dead.
Yeah, but to her, I think the Freys are dead. But she won't.
Like the two dopey sons.
Yeah, but I don't think she'll go out of her way to kill Jaime or Bronn or whatever, or unless she has bad blood for Jaime. But I don't even think she knows that he pushed Bran off the tower.
No, I don't think there's bad blood there.
Yeah. So,
no, like that's what I mean. It's just gonna be like sliding doors. They leave, and they would have maybe got poisoned, even to the like. I'm even gonna call this, just to go out on a limb, that Jaime was holding the cup and refuses to drink because he's out of there so fast.
Okay. I see people...
And it's poison in the cup that he would have been holding, but he leaves.
I see all the Freys, like, choking, and it starts to get, like, become, like, mad. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? And then we get, like, a close-up with, like, Arya in a hood, like, walking away from the tent or something like that.
Like her shitty disguise that she used when she killed that guard guy.
Yeah, and then I think that sets up with her journey to Winterfell for the next season. And I think the next season, I think it'll be 2 episodes she'll get from the twins all the way to Winterfell. I think maybe episode 2 she'll get there.
I don't know, man. Maybe she's trying to, like, we got to go back to the list. I don't know what her list is comprised of now. But maybe she's not, like, she said that she's more looking to travel than she is going back to Winterfell.
Yeah, she did say what's west of Westeros, but I feel like that's her. I feel like it's too much right now. I feel like...
No, I just think I think she will go to Winterfell. I just really think she'll be taking her time. So yeah, I really think she's showing up to the twins because it serves my theory. And it makes the most logistical and logical sense for her to go there first. Mm-hmm. Because we even see almost the same setup as the Red Wedding. And it's just too perfect in my mind. But I think she'll, like, go from one spot to the other trying to kill the people that she wants to kill.
See, I think,
running into the Hound eventually.
See, I think, yeah, possibly that. I know that she kills Walder Frey, but I think, she said it herself. I'm Arya Stark and I'm going home. So I think she's going to try, once she kills Walder Frey, she's going to hightail it there. And I think, I'm wondering, is she going to meet up with the Brotherhood? Is she going to meet up with Brienne Pod? Because there's so many people going to Winterfell right now. So it's like we have to see some kind of interaction there. And she has history with both. She has history with Brienne and she has history with the Brotherhood.
Well, it'd be a lot better for her to run into Brienne, who could say, your brother and your sister are alive and well at Winterfell. Then you know what her motivation would be to get home.
Yeah, but then on top of that, they also have bad blood, right? So
I don't think so, though, because she's like, hey... I can't believe I saw you again. Like, you need to come back. Like, I don't know. And they might have to fight it, but it'd just be like, that would be a weird fight.
No, that'll be really interesting. And, like, speaking of Brienne and the Hound, I don't think we're seeing them this episode. I feel like their role is in the next season, and I think we're going to see either an interaction between the Hound and Brienne, or Arya and the Hound, or Arya and Brienne, or, like, just some kind of... You're going to see some kind of mingle between those 3.
It would be so awesome if Arya and the Hound hook up on the next one.
Oh, it would be awesome. Because as we said before, they're literally like the same. They've traveled over the same arc now. And they have the same values. And they're kind of like the same characters.
Yeah, now they can kind of keep each other in check.
Yeah, and they've had the same kind of experience. But I don't think we're going to see the Hound next episode. I would love to see him, but I don't think we will. I think we're just going to see...
there's not enough time.
Yeah, I think we're just going to see Arya walking away from... the tent, the Walder Frey tent, or their tent. What am I saying? Their castle. I don't fucking live in a tent.
No, I know what you mean.
You never corrected me. I've been saying tent this whole time.
Their tent. And
then Varys as well. I don't think we're going to see Varys. I think we're going to know that he's in Dorne next season, but this season I don't think they're going to address it.
Do you think this is a long shot that I was thinking of? Maybe he's in King's Landing. Is it possible that he's been in cahoots with the Sparrow?
Is it possible that Varys has been in cahoots with the Sparrow?
In any shape or form?
I don't know. Keep talking.
No, like, it's very loosely put together in my mind, but it just seems like... I don't know, like, the Sparrow seems way too self-sufficient to be one of Varys' plans, and it would almost get away on him. Mm-hmm. But, like, my God... The control that he would have had when he was gone. Like,
there's almost like a way that Varys is using his birds to kind of help the Sparrow to further crumble King's Landing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the Harpy,
because how does Sparrow know so much? right? He has every little, like, everything twisted around his finger.
Well, what's an example that he knows of something?
He just know, like, he's so manipulative that he knows, like, almost on every level how to get into that family.
I think for one, he's great at reading people. But, like, I'm trying to think of a scenario.
But what if he was given the book by the guy that knows everything?
Yeah, but what could he have known? Like, I don't see... Like, there's nothing that he proved to have known that I wouldn't expect him to know.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, it's a little tricky.
No, it's a great idea, though. I like the idea. It's like, you know, everyone speculates on Varys being the Harpy, but he's actually, technically, could be a Sparrow.
Right. But he was just like, hey... No, because it's like Cersei kind of did this with the Sparrow.
No, she did it herself, I know. So, yeah, it's nice speculation, but I think I like the Breaking Bad idea of Varys kind of getting back his birds and using them to kind of target members of power to try and cripple King's Landing to get ready for Daenerys.
Yeah.
He's trying to clear the way. And then maybe, you know, Varys thinks that, you know, Daenerys is seen as this savior figure. And he thinks, great, I'll take out all the people who don't support the religion of King's Landing and leave their religion there. So when Daenerys comes, she has all the support because she's supposed to be the savior in all these scriptures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like her and the Sparrow would not get along at all.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not. But now let's talk about Bran, dude. I think this is going to be, if you say King's Landing is number 1 in this episode, Bran is going to be the second most important in this episode.
Yeah. Do you think we're seeing... how many things do you think we'll see?
I think you're going to see him arrive with the Weirwood Tree, that Jon and Sam swore their vows, which we said 100 times, with Benjen and Mira. And I think what the tree is going to allow him to do is take all of these visions that the Three-Eyed Raven has given him and process it into a cohesive thing, okay? So I think I have a couple, and maybe you can add some, but I think we're going to see the full thing of Jaime killing the Mad King. So I'm trying to think of what the significance of that would be, but really all I have to base it on is that they've shot it, and they've showed it to us in clips. So I think we're going to get a full thing of it. Why Bran has seen it, I'm not sure. Maybe to get some further insight on the Mad King, or maybe even Dany.
Could be.
But I think obviously it's going to be the Tower of Joy. And we're going to get, you know, Jon Snow's parentage, and then that's going to drive them to the wall, to Winterfell, and obviously to get past the wall to escape the White Walkers. But I've also, I don't know about you, but they've teased, you know, I remember in the first season, Ned and Jaime were talking, and they were reminiscing about how, well, not really not in a positive way, but they were talking about how Jaime was sitting on the throne and how Ned Stark came in, and Ned was saying how dishonorable he was and whatever, and they were just kind of recapping the story.
Yeah.
And I think it would be nice if we saw that interaction. If we saw Ned talking to Jaime Lannister in the throne room.
Yeah, but I don't think... Did they have an actor for Jaime? Or was it him playing him young self?
I think they make him young.
And then it was almost like he was shadow face.
Yeah, I think it was a shadow. It was Jaime. I think I'm pretty confident it was.
It would be a cool thing to have that conversation.
No, it would be great to see, and it would be really interesting to see, like, have it like shot exactly the same of how it was shot in the first season, and have these two characters talk.
I wonder if it's like they would only show that to show like the Mad King had explosives, and then that would pan to King's Landing.
No, exactly. That's the purpose of showing it, is that the Mad King wanted to burn them all. And the point of it is learning about the cachets, which is significant to Bran because King's Landing is going to shit. And then, you know, you will see the Jaime storyline just because it's kind of looped in with that. But there's also something else I want to see, but I'm pretty much sure we're not going to see it, but I hope we do. It's the story how after the rebellion, or while the rebellion was going on, the Mad King had... Ned's older brother, and he had Ned's father. And Ned's father was being burned alive, and Ned's brother had a rope around his neck, and he actually strangled himself, and he had a sword just out of reach to grab that sword to try and save his father.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really interesting to see. It would be awesome to see. It would be great to see that because it shows that Jon is more of a Stark than any of the Starks. Because that's something that Jon would do, you know? he knows he can't reach the sword, but like he's gonna keep, like, it's the honorable thing to do. He's gonna keep trying until he dies to save his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just kind of shows that, you know.
Yeah, it's the Stark curse.
It's the Stark
He's so
curse.
nice and so honorable that
And
it ends up being their downfall.
Yeah, and Jon is the most Stark of them all. But what do you think we would see out of all that, or do you think we'll see something else?
I don't know. I don't know how much time they're going to spend with those, so I think it's still going to be quick clips, but I think we're going to get a long, like, remember in Assassin's Creed where you'd unlock the Adam and Eve thing? And at the end, you got to see the whole thing for what it was, so we're going to just revisit all the visions that we've had with clarity.
Yeah, but we've already had clarity with the Hodor one, right? With the and their kids.
But that was just to show the power that exists in these memories, so maybe we see an interactive one.
Yeah, I think that would really kind of show what's next for Bran, you know, because I think he does have all these new abilities.
Yeah.
So I think that would be interesting. Do you think we'll see Bran outside of a vision? Do you think we'll see him, like, I think we'll see him maybe riding a horse, getting to the Weirwood tree? Will we see any other action other than that?
No, it looks like he slumps down beside a tree.
Right.
And it doesn't look like a particularly important tree, though. That's the thing. Like, it's just almost like they're outside. Right. So it's not like there's a cave. I don't know if there's a cave under every single tree where you can get wrapped up in the roots. But it's almost like he just is almost there for a breather by the look of the preview, where they're just kind of like, okay, let's go here. I know you need to go here, so do what you need to do, and we need to keep moving. So that's why I think they go to the one, like you said. I think it's called White Tree, which is just north of the wall, where they do their vows. And maybe he sees, like you said, that quick little tidbit, and then later in the episode you see Jon's parentage, and then they're like, okay, we gotta keep moving, and then boom, wall falls down because of that.
You know what? I've changed my mind like 100 times while talking about it, but this is my final verdict. I'm gonna say near the beginning of the episode, we're gonna have Bran's visions, okay?
Yeah, I think he's the first thing you see in this next episode.
Yeah, and then we'll learn about Jon's parentage, and then it'll cut to Jon at Winterfell. And it'll just be him doing his shit, whatever. And then we'll get King's Landing in the middle of the episode, and then we'll get Daenerys leaving for Westeros, which kind of brings on the hope. And obviously there's going to be a lot of shit in between. But then after Daenerys leaves, which gives us the hope, we have Bran fleeing to the wall to break it down. And what actually happens is at the start of the episode, Bran will say, I have to tell Jon. And then they sprint through the whole episode, and then by the end of the episode, they get to the wall crumbles, and that's the last shot.
Yeah, and they're like, they think they're kind of free and clear, but they fuck shit up. But you think, like, so I've always said that the wall crumbles, but you think, like, the entire fucking, because you gotta think about it, they get to the wall, they have to be let in, everyone's gonna be stoked that Benjen's back at Castle Black.
I know, wouldn't it, like, demolish Castle Black?
That's what I mean, so, like, it's just like something's bad's gotta happen here.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, I don't even know. Like, this is why I have no idea. But let's talk about Samwell Tarly. I am 100% convinced we're going to be seeing Sam.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be seeing him at the Citadel with Gilly.
Yep.
And I think we're going to meet a character that we haven't seen for 4 episodes. I think we're going to see Jorah.
You think he's gonna go all the way to Old Town?
Yep. Now, this is my theory. So we're gonna have Sam go to the Citadel, and it's the question of what's Sam's purpose at the Citadel. He's gonna have no purpose, but the purpose is gonna be Jorah. I thought it would be next season, but since Jorah's been gone for so long, it wouldn't surprise me if Jorah is there looking for his cure. It's the best place for him to go is the Citadel, as it is obviously where all the books are, where all the knowledge is, where all the maesters train. It is the spot to go. But think about it this way, and it makes the most sense. Jorah left them near Vaes Dothrak.
Yeah.
Literally, and the Dothraki literally just got to Mareen, right? Jorah has had all this time pretty much to go east to Old Town, and it's pretty much straight. He just has to go pretty much straight east.
That's pretty far. The Thrak is like in the center of the sea, right?
Yeah.
And then he would have to go like all the way sailing on the coast. I think don't even think about the geography of it. It's the only logical step for him to move.
I think it's a logical sense for him to move, and I don't know, man. I feel like based on where they were, I feel like he just has to go straight east by foot and then by boat. Like it wouldn't surprise me. And what I like about this is it opens up. Like, I convince myself that this is true because there's so many possibilities. Like, first of all, you have, Sam meeting with Jorah, which means that, Jorah will be talking to Sam about Daenerys and all that fun stuff. And Sam already has a history because Master Aemon has been talking to him about Daenerys forever. And Sam even said that she sounds lovely. He actually said that. And then, which could be Game of Thrones foreshadowing.
Oh, for sure. No, you've convinced me of that. The only other place I could think Jorah would go would be somewhere local where you would think the cure would be because people would run into it all the time.
No, I think
it's like you don't go to Sweden to get treated for African malaria.
Yeah.
You go to somewhere in Africa that's an expert on it.
Well, to be fair,
Old Town would be the only place outside of this where he would go.
I think it's the best spot to go. And I think what's crazy about it is that, Sam will support Daenerys from what Jorah's telling him and all these stories, and then Sam's going to be sending letters to Jon about Daenerys.
Yes.
So then he's going to be kind of bringing them together, And we see that like white bird flying. I'm not saying that probably doesn't apply at all. I'm just saying that just because, whatever. It backs me up. But
the white raven is to symbolize that the winter is coming, though.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, did it fly over the wall?
No, but that's from the books. Like, they send that white crow or whatever to all the castles from Old Town to let them know that winter is officially, either here or coming.
Right.
So, I don't know if that's the last scene. Just to show, oh, fuck. Maybe we get a sky shot of how big the undead army is and they're marching.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just see a wall is coming down.
Yeah. No, I think back to the Jorah and Sam thing. I think it's going to be crazy because I think it's literally going to be kind of like a Barristan Selmy moment where Sam's at the Citadel and he walks into this giant cathedral or whatever. And then we see Jorah there, holy shit, it's Jorah. And then that'll be the introduction, and then they'll be talking, and I think that'll be the point of the scene, right? But then next season, what that's open to now is I think Daenerys is going to arrive in Dorne, which is, pretty close to Old Town. Old Town is just east of Dorne.
Yeah.
And I think Sam is going to travel back north with all of his information with Daenerys and Jorah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And they're all going to travel north together. But that's my favorite prediction. I freaking love that prediction.
No, it's good. That's the only place I can see Jorah now. I can't see him anywhere else, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I'm back in that. And then, I just want to talk about overall thoughts of the episode. So, or wait, do you have any thoughts on this Sam and Jorah thing, or just anything else that Sam could do, or you just totally agree with me?
I just think maybe Sam has a part in sending those white ravens, maybe saying here's a little thing you need to know about those guys.
Yeah, and Sam doesn't even know that Jon died.
No.
So it'll be crazy for Sam to realize that Jon is this big figure. Well, I guess
he probably doesn't even know about the whole war. He doesn't know anything, right?
Yeah, he doesn't know anything. So I think it'll blow his mind, and I think he's going to start sending information to Jon with Jorah by his side, and they're going to be sending letters to Daenerys and to Jon as they're trying to fix Jorah's grayscale. But yeah, so
I think he's losing an arm though.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so overall thoughts. So what do you think is going to be the biggest WTF of the episode? We have potentially the wall. We have potentially King's Landing. We have potentially, yeah, that's probably it.
I could be a dick and say whatever the last scene is where it cuts to black.
I know.
And I really have my money on is the wall coming down is what I picture in my head, but even just showing that now it is vulnerable. They're all oh, that was such a great time at the wall. Everyone loves you at the wall. They're so glad to see you. Unless maybe they don't go through the wall at Castle Black.
Fuck, dude. I feel like it has to be at Castle Black, though. It just makes it so epic.
Because remember, Dolores said, Jon's don't knock it down.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Knock it down,
fuck, man. If they come through a different way, like they don't come in through the main entrance and exit, and they're like, oh yeah, I was at this castle that I stayed. It's this old castle that's abandoned. It's easy to get through there, right?
I know, it's like, fuck off, John. Knock on wood.
They go through that one, and then they're literally like, oh, like, yeah, there's Castle Black. You sure you don't want to go see your friends? He's like, I don't have the face for it, or something like that. And they just look back, and they just see the wall. Like, the whole shit goes down.
I think, with the name being Winds of Winter, I think it makes sense to kill the South by destroying King's Landing and kind of thriving north, which is, the wall coming down and the Winds of Winter sweeping through.
Yeah, you just see this, like, huge shockwave of, like...
Yeah, so it's like, man, it's what I was saying earlier. So either the last shot is going to be a negative ending, like a very upsetting ending, which is like Jon Snow dying, a cliffhanger, or it's going to be a hopeful ending where we see kind of like in season 4 where we see Arya kind of going to Bravo. So it's like hopeful, But
no, I think it's a combination.
Exactly. So I think we're at the point now where we're in season 6. It's kind of getting on the final stretch. So we're probably going to get a bit of hope. Obviously, we have Jon in Winterfell. We have Daenerys leaving, so it's a lot of cool stuff is happening. We have Sam going to go to the Citadel.
Yeah.
But then we're going to have the wall come down, and that's going to be the last shot. That makes sense to me. You can't end it this late in the game on a hopeful note. It has to be on a negative note, and that's the only way I can think that they can end it big enough.
I think like the last couple of things is hopeful. Like, you have Mareen back. You have Winterfell back. I don't know. It has to end bad.
Yeah. So that's our final thoughts. It has to end bad.
It has to end bad with peppered hopeful moments in there.
But it has to end bad. So that's all I have to say about all of our predictions. I think we did a pretty good job. What do you think, Trev?
Yeah, yep. My mind's raked over the coals now. I'm half tired, and now my mind is just going to work on everything we discussed.
I know, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna be up all night. Do you have anything else to say?
I don't know if people do this and have discussions like this when they listen to our stuff, but don't you find like 5 minutes after we're done recording, you're like, God, I wish I said that.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Damn it, totally makes sense.
Yeah. Or the next morning, I'm full of ideas. Like on the drive to work, I'm just like, holy fuck, are you kidding me?
I know. It's like when we watched this episode 9. It's like, why the fuck didn't I think of that? Like, it seems so obvious.
Yeah.
Like with,
it's like deja vu.
Yeah, like with Rickon, like being pulled by the rope. Like, why would he be burned at the stake? Like, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Like, why? Like, there's these certain things that I said that just don't make sense. But that being said, we have predicted a lot of true stuff, so.
That's true. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening. As always, thanks for your support.
I'll see you next episode.
Yeah, all right.